It's Samsung event day. It's the day that I make a predictions video about what Samsung is going to launch on January 22nd for Galaxy Unpacked. Now, I have a list beside me, which I've never used before. I don't script. Everything is free reign for me. So, I have about 25 items that I'm going to talk about. Items, specs, features, or products. And yeah, I'm gonna go over them. I looked at my past videos, tried to give myself a sense, and I'm gonna be honest, I have basically no idea what Samsung is doing this year because it's very hidden, which means either people don't care or Samsung may actually be keeping this very hidden. Either way, it's good news. Now let's talk specs. I feel like everybody talks about the S25 Ultra and they don't give enough attention to the base phones. I feel like it's just kind of thrown out there and then they're like, okay, now the Ultra. But I'm going to be talking about, unfortunately, mostly about the Ultra, but also about the base phones because I do have some information on those. And starting with the first prediction, I think that Samsung will move the 3x camera bold, but from 10 to 50 megapixels. If not that, 12. So that's two predictions in one. You're welcome. I think Samsung will make the front camera 24 megapixels. If not that, 12. Because I'm pretty sure we're at 10 right now. Which is unfortunate. Now, the S25 Ultra I think is going to get a 0.1 inch screen size upgrade. Which would be nice. But then again, I think Samsung is going to just keep it how it is. Because then they're going to look like full-on copycats to Apple, which they kind of are. They're both copycats to each other. I think that the S25 will get a 5x zoom camera. They've been at 3x for as long as I can remember. Like, Samsung has always had the 3x camera on the base phones, and it's got to go. So, you know, I live in hope for that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to stay the same, but I'm going to predict that it won't. I think that Samsung will give at least a 5,000 milliamp hour battery because of my next prediction, which I'll talk about in a moment. I'm sorry. I think obviously Samsung's camera layout is going to stay the same. And for the fools that say it's going to, you know, look like this, you're crazy. Samsung's not going to move because it's an iconic design. And Samsung, I feel like they just settled on that because this was the S20, this was the S21, this was the S23, S22. This is the S22. They all look different. And now I feel like they settled, so now they're recognizable. I feel like no one other than tech people can recognize that's the S20 and that's the S9, you know? So I think Samsung's made themselves recognizable, which is good for the brand, but I also think that they're working on keeping themselves recognizable rather than, oh, that's the S20. Wait, no, is that the S... No, yeah, I think that's the S20. It's obvious, and I think Samsung's going for the obvious, like this is an S20, but now I think they're trying to move to the recognizable, which is great. And other than that, I think the base models, I think we're going to move with the base models. I think the base model S25, I think they'll go from a 6.1 to a 6.3 inch display. Bold, but I think it could happen. I think the Plus will go from a 6.3 to a 6.5. I know we don't really talk about 6.5 inch. I think they always move to like 6.6, and if not, 6.4. But I think 0.1 is just not enough. Is Wi-Fi 7E a thing? I don't even know. I think it is. I think we have Wi-Fi 7E now. I think Samsung's gonna bring the studio mics, like always. I think the design is obviously gonna stay the same, but I think the camera lenses are gonna have like the Z Fold 6's lenses, large. I think that we're gonna get a larger sensor. We're staying with titanium, obviously, and I think that we're hopefully going to get titanium on the base models. That'd be great. I think it's gonna be a little bit more rounded, which would be also great. And obviously Samsung's gonna throw in some amazing colors because that's just what Samsung does. Now let's move on to features. For features, Samsung is always gonna bring you a surprise, but then also label it on the event. Because this is what Samsung's event looks like. That's what their announcement looks like for the event, which tells me a lot. Now this is obviously going to be focused on Galaxy AI. Go figure. I think Samsung's gonna bring a lot of new Galaxy AI, but I don't think it's gonna be just called Galaxy AI. I think we're going to get Galaxy AI 2.0, Galaxy AI 2, version 2, V2, whatever they call it. I don't think they're just going to stick with Galaxy AI because we're on, like, the third variation of that. So I think we gotta mix it up a little bit, and I think that's what Samsung's gonna do. Also, I think photo editing is gonna be kind of moved out of the picture. I think Samsung's gonna more focus on video editing with Galaxy AI. Sounds bold, but I do feel like Samsung is going to focus on video AI, whether it's generating or it's just making the video look better. Speaking of generating, I think to get video AI generating, we're gonna have a ChatGPT collab. Now, yes, I know Samsung has collaborated with Google to make Galaxy AI, but I think ChatGPT is their next logical step. Now, from what I'm seeing, Bixby is also going to get a new look, new voice assistant. This is her current logo. Is it a her or a he? It really depends on the voice you pick. But this is the current logo of Bixby. I think it's gonna get a change. I'm kind of hoping it gets a change, honestly. And I think that's really all we're gonna get for features. It's sad, but I think that's all we're getting. You know what, Samsung, they don't have much to give us when it comes to features. And I think that that's just something that they gotta live with. I think that we just can't get better at this point. If they shock me, thank you. If they don't, I'm not gonna be shocked about that. Alright, it's time to talk about pricing. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, that's better. Now, when it comes to pricing, I feel like Samsung's going to keep it the same. $799 for the base, $999 for the Plus, and $1399 for the Ultra. Where is Samsung getting these numbers? I don't even know. Now, I feel like Samsung might lower the price a little bit, but then again, it's Samsung. They're not going to. They're a phone company. We're only going up from here. They're not just talking about innovation, they're talking about pricing. Let's be honest, it's not just the innovation that's going up, it's also the price. You pay the price for innovation, woo. But, like I said, it's going to be a pretty dry year, I feel like. And I think I said the exact same thing for the iPhone and the S24. So, yeah. Other than that, I feel like Samsung is going to keep it pretty basic when it comes to the phones. Really slightly rounded corners for the Ultra, slightly better battery like always, and then we're just gonna get a brand new price for a not so new phone. Geez, Samsung is following on to the iPhone bandwagon. Thanks for watching.